So let's watch this, man. Let's not listen to me just talk the whole goddamn time, because you know we'd be here for about an hour and a half if I just keep talking. So let's let this man say his business. Let's hear this man tell TYT exactly how he feels about their bullshit.
I will do no more work. I don't know why. Something just said I will do no more work with TYT though. In his current capacity, I will.
Oh wow, bro!
No more content. I will be on no more shows. It's over for me. Like
What's
something
happening,
just
Alan?
told me I have to say that, and I need to put it on Twitter.
What's happening, Joe Ford?
I need to text
What's
G
happening, Randy?
and Anna. Y'all can't call me for no more shows. I'm done with
What?
this. Yeah, in real life.
Are you serious?
I'm bro.
Yeah, I agree with you, Risk.
Damn, that's 100.
I tell people. Past couple years, I've been taking paychecks from TYT. At this moment, I feel disgusted by that, dog. I don't like where TYT is right now. TYT is starting to...
And look at this man's face. This is real. That is real. That's what you want to see. Fuck all this YouTube shit. All this content creator facade, this WWE clicks and views bullshit. That man's face right now, and those men's face, those two that are going like, oh my, well then, all right? That man's like, he's got that, I don't care if you like this. I don't care if you like this. He's got that face right now. I'm going to say what the fuck I feel. That's what I like. I like people. I like human beings. I like people that are real. I don't care about YouTube facades and characters that were created to capture audience. I don't give a shit about any of that. All I care about is real people. I might not agree with everything you say, but at least I know you are you and you're not just saying it to get some clicks and views. I like that. I like what he's doing right there. That's what I want to see.
I've been taking paychecks from TYT. At this moment, I feel disgusted by that, dog. I don't like where TYT is right now. TYT is starting to act like, and listen, I'm telling people right now, I have not severed my relationship with TYT. I'm being a buck. So what I'm saying right now might just end that relationship.
Uh-huh. You see? That's the reaction you should get from people. You should scare them. When you say stuff like that, they're like going, well, hold on. Maybe I want to be on TYT. You know? When I sit up here and talk shit about Joe Rogan, well, I don't know if you want to do it. What if you could ever go on Joe Rogan? Well, then he's going to hear the same goddamn thing to his face. Whoa. No, whoa. Let the man talk.
Gotta say.
It's the anniversary night, Nick. We're not doing a relationship ending tonight.
I'm with my family and I'm talking to our extended family.
Cypher. I see you, Cypher.
I don't really know what's going on over there, dog. Like I don't know if they had some kind of meeting or was it the Christmas party or what, where they decided that, we need to do what the Joe Scarborough did that cost them so many viewers.
And why would you do that? You know mainstream media is dying. Absolutely dying. The only place that mainstream media still lives, Fox News. And why does Fox News still live? Because they don't have critically thinking people watching their shows. They have people that repeat the things that they say to their loved ones as if it's their knowledge. It's the Shane Gillis joke about how his dad doesn't have actual points of views. He only watches Fox News to get one clip, the Mexicans are come across the border. There's 600,000 of them. They're all criminals. Like, oh, how do you back that up? Well, I don't know. That's what Tucker Carlson said. That's what Jesse Waters said. That's why Fox News is still viable, because it is WWE, because it is entertainment. You know that's not what people like me want. You know that's not what people like Tia or Risk or Susan or Ichabod want. They want truth. They want to hear what the hell's going on. They want you to stop standing up there and saying that people that don't have health care shouldn't be happy that something actually happened to the person that's oppressed them, that has literally denied health care to their loved ones and helped them go bankrupt. Bankruptcy is something like 66% of all cases in America. The left-wing media is out of touch. The right-wing media, they're literally giving handies to Fox News watchers. They're like, that's what you want to hear? There you go. That's what you like. You like a little bit of that. They're willing to say whatever to stay pertinent, to stay relevant, and the left can't do that. They can't, because people are gonna know. They know, oh, you ain't saying that shit because you want to. You're full of shit. We see Bernie Sanders stand up there and say some stuff like, look, the healthcare that's going on right now, he said, murder is wrong. But, I heard Kyle Kalinske say this. He said, murder is wrong. But, like everybody's got to say that, right? Murder is wrong. But, and then Bernie Sanders went off. He went off. That's real. That's what people want to hear. People want to know that you're not bullshitting them. On the right, Fox News, yeah, they want you to bullshit them. They just want you to tell them that like everything's like as bad as they think it is. And Fox News will continue to exist. But why would TYT look at a dying mainstream media, somebody that they've called out so many times and said, oh, mainstream media, nobody cares about mainstream media, this is the problem. Like Cenk has like ad nauseum talked about how mainstream media is fucking up. And then he's like, you know what we should do? We should do what they do. Because he wants to be them. Because TYT wants to take MSNBC's place. They smell blood in the water. They see MSNBC's being sold. They see CNN's numbers are going down, and they think we could be the saps that are on every night. We could be the ones that make millions of dollars. That's what they see.
To say that we're gonna cover Trump, Anna, and Cenk showing up in the way they're showing
Chevy,
up.
Right-wing media is fantasy.
I'm never going to be quiet. So if they
left-wing media is out of touch. Thank you,
Chevy. I don't give a damn, because I'm not going to be quiet about the way that they're showing up right now. You took too much.
How are they showing up, Mondale?
Like MAGA, like an extension of damn Trump. Like, bro,
thank you.
This idea that these people ain't white supremacists, like normalizing Trump supporters as if they ain't racist, dog. I am not okay with it. I'm not gonna be good with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski or Cenk or Anna or anybody pretending that these people aren't threatening our lives. I'm a black person first. They can keep that money for them videos. I'll go back.
Dude, that's solid. That's solid. He's saying it with his chest. And look at it. Look, those two dudes at the beginning. Oh, don't. Oh, don't. Oh, don't. And now look at him. Yeah, why? Because he's real. That's why. They went from please don't to because he's being real, because he's not saying this because he wants money. Shit, this is the opposite. He's cutting ties with his ability to monetize further. He's cutting ties with, like I said, potentially somebody that's trying to take on a platform that is huge, that is massive amounts of money. But he's being real. He's speaking how he feels about it. He's saying, honestly, speaking with his chest, I'm not going to do this. I'm not. And that's great. It's fucking 100%. Good job, buddy.
Create videos in the afternoon. I don't care. It's not what I'm not comfortable. We should all be mad.
Thank you.
That was the last beacon other than Democracy Now! And Free Speech TV.
That's right.
Talking about real progressive media. Y'all took too much money from the ethos.
I'm so proud. I am so proud right now. Holy shit, I am so proud right now.
Y'all took too much money with too many billions of views to be doing what y'all doing right now. So I don't know who offered you a check or which check you're trying to get. But I'm disgusted by it
Fucking
as a contributor and a person who helped
preach.
Rebel HQ, another money source for y'all, to over 1 million followers, dog. I average 30 million views a year on Rebel HQ myself. None of those views join.
Dude, 30 million views. That's dollars, just so you guys know. There ain't a lot of money down where I'm at, all right? But when you in the 30 million views, that's actual money. That's like you don't have to have a career outside. Like, this dude deserves all the respect. I don't know this dude's views from Trump's views. You know, I don't know, but I can tell you this, that a real person, honestly speaking out against something that he thinks is wrong at the risk of losing the type of monetary foundation that he has, like, that's what America needs. I've been saying it about, like, since Kamala left, right? Since Kamala lost. The problem with the left is there's a lot of this prim and proper. Oh, don't say that. Oh, we've got to stay in our lane. What did that dipshit say? We got to play between the 45s. We got to not make the conservatives upset, and we got to not make the liberals upset. We got to play between so that way we win. And then they lost. You know what people want nowadays? They want Bernie Sanders up there saying, people have a right to be upset. A right to be upset. Okay, that's what they want. You know what people want right now? They want this dude Mondale sitting there saying, it's bullshit to see one of the last big platforms for left-wing media deciding that Trump's not really that bad of a person. It's not that bad. Not that bad. They want to see you be real. They want you, like, if there's one thing that you have to, like, actually agree with MAGA on, is that like, Trump says all the shit they want to. And so to them, that's real. Oh, he just, like, you know, like, oh, you accuse him of assaulting people? Yeah, I don't have a problem with him assaulting people. So he just stands up there and says, yeah, I did that shit. Who cares? Nah, I didn't do it. Nah. That's what they say. To them, he's real. The left needs a representation, but they can't have a Trump because the left critically thinks. So they see a person bullshitting them, lying to them, taking, you know, United Healthcare money, A.B. Klobuchar, in their pocket, and then tweeting out some dumb shit like, well, hold on, he was a good person, whatever. They know you're not real. They know you're speaking to the money that's in your pocket. They know that you're speaking to corporate interests. It's the reason that even though, like, I liked Obama, there was failures in his presidency, and we know about them. His corporate interests. He ran on antitrust, and then he gave in as soon as his fucking advisor went out and talked to a couple corporations, and they're like, we won't support you in your re-election. We see that, and we know, and we criticize him for that. We know about the drone strikes. We see that, and we criticize him for that. You can't be a Trump on the left because there's too many people that are looking at you and going, that's weird that you say that. That's weird because I know something about you that conflicts with that. So what do they want? People on the left just want somebody that's going to be honest. That's going to say, hey guys, I'm going to fuck up, and I'm sorry when I do. But if I do fuck up, I'm going to try and make it better. I'll do better next time. They want a dude like this that's actually speaking with his chest.
On my personal YouTube channel or nothing. So the pennies that they give me is not enough to make me sell my soul. I don't know what's going on. And if y'all are cool with it, I need to question y'all bona fides. I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about everybody who say they part of the Squirrel Gang, the Dragon Squad. I need to know what's going on. We should be asking these questions, dog. And we shouldn't be asking these questions with questions. We should be asking these questions with the lack of subscriptions.
Oops. I want to show what that girl just said right there. That of course I clicked it like an idiot. I want to read this what she said in chat. They faked the funk until they got too big for the pond of progressive media, trying to bring down smaller journalists and leftist voices so they can ingratiate themselves to the slightly right. Dude, that's spot on. Because progressive media is small. I mean, it's the very idea behind it. Like, I've been in the health food industry for 20 years. It's always been that when ideas become too mainstream, when they become when people grab a hold of them and try to make them theirs, and then they try to change those ideas that started with a small group of progressives, when they still had feeling and emotion to them, when they had meaning as like to progress, to move society forward. When those ideas get glommed onto by the mainstream, and then the mainstream mutates them and creates instead this idea of like, now it's going to be, now corporate interests are getting involved. This is a problem that the people on the left have with the left right now. When those corporate interests all of a sudden are putting money in their pockets, when those corporate interests get a hold of those things, when you talk about LGBT rights and you see, whether it's Nike or Target or whoever fucking grabbing onto it because they know they can make some money off of it, it stops being progressive. And it starts being more mainstream, and it loses its feeling. It loses the reason that it began. It's not authentic anymore. And that is what TYT is becoming, because everybody has a fault. And that fault is that they want to feel safe. They want to have a foundation. They want to feel good about their future. And when they do, when they get a chance to do that, they leave behind the pack that got them there. And that's what's happening, is TYT sees their ability to be like real, to be an actual like mainstream foundation of news media. And they look back at the people that got them there, and they're like, ooh, oh God, like stop saying things. But they don't realize they got there by saying those things. Those things, sometimes they're not right. Everybody's wrong, but it has the right idea behind it to progress society, to keep moving forward and getting equal rights for all people, to keep people safe and provide health care, to make sure that every single person is paid equitably to their skills and abilities, and that nobody is discriminated against. That's what you're pushing for. Like I said, is it always perfect? No. Raw emotion is almost never perfect. It's rough around the edges for a reason. It's supposed to be abrasive. It's supposed to make you feel a little icky because you're like, oh my God, like, am I a bad person for not believing that? Yeah. You want to have to make people think about things. And TYT they see the dollar signs and they're saying to themselves, oh, we can smooth off some of those edges on some of these ideas if that's what allows us to fit in this circle hole. Like, we a square peg right now, but we can take off the corners if that's what you guys need. You guys need us to round them corners to get in this hole? We'll do that for you. How much money can we get from it? Like, that's what they're doing. And that's sad.
With the lack of subscriptions.
That's right.
What's happening, James?
Damn,
Yeah, that's oldies.
In that manner. I don't give you enough to pay nobody's bill, but I subscribe at $100 a month. That's a big level from one person. When you got over 1 billion views.
Nightbot's my little Nazi.
$100 a month to TYT.
It's kind of an asshole.
As long as they're acting as if Donald Trump followers aren't the people, the same people
Just
who
in
are
here
trying to kill
banning
me and
people
my
for
wife.
saying words and
That
stuff.
is not hyperbole. I live in segregated world because I'm still getting death threats. The FBI had to get involved to get me my email back because I was hacked by these people. In real life, in this cycle, I've never thought I would say thank you to an FBI agent. The FBI agent called me and was like, you're in danger. Your wife can't travel by herself.
Wow.
So these people,
wow. That's rough. Like, that's rough. People sometimes don't know what it takes to get on camera and say some of these things. And that dude just made it real right there.
and out of love and respect for my wife, I'm obligated to do it today. I'm asking real questions. Jink, Anna, and also TYT, what are we doing?
But that is why you do it. Because you have skin in the game. That's why you do it. Like he said, he did it because, he's already been through the fire. He's still living in the fire. But that takes real actual courage to know that like your family is at risk. Like, and this man's getting up on YouTube and saying the things that he's willing to say because he believes that what he says is right. And like I said, that's what's missing, is you're not saying it because it provides you with financial welfare. You're saying it because you believe that it's right. Like that's missing from this society, is people saying things that they believe were right. Martin Luther King, one of the last real voices of progress, lost his life. And he knew he probably would. He knew every time that he got up there and gave a speech that there was some crazy ass person that wanted to shut him up, to shut him down. And that, like, there hasn't been people like that. They're very far and few between, and that's real, like, for sure. Like, they're rare people, but it doesn't mean that the rest of us can't, like, do our best to also, like, try to propagate that, to try to be pushing for that, to be what we want from people, that we don't want to be bullshitted, that we don't want fake WWE entertainment. We want real. We want people that care. We want people that want progress. We want people that, you don't think that, like, Martin Luther King at one point or another probably was offered something to just shut up, to just go away? I guarantee he was. And he probably could have lived on his life as some type of, dude that just travels around and gives, like, speeches about being positive and not being happy that a healthcare CEO got, offed. I'm sure that somebody offered him the ability to do so. And he still got up there and gave those speeches because he knew what he was doing was right. Like that.
At Arbor Freight, we do business differently
that's
from
what
the
people
other guys.
want, man.
We design.
You know what I mean? So my thing is, for our viewers who have not watched that, could we get some exacts? And maybe we can, like, put that and compile that into, like, what exactly? Because I like TYT. I'm over here, like, I hate to be like this, but I'm over here, like, kind of innocent. Whenever I turn on TYT, I see some shit that I like.
Yeah, and I think that the problem with that, now I don't know what he's talking about because he might be talking about Cenk and Anna. But like I said when I started this video, when I watch what is it? I want to say it's the damage report. I'm going to just say it's the damage report. If that's Sam Cedar, I'm an idiot, okay? I can't remember which one is which. But it's the one with the dude who's pretty funny, the white dude. And like I said, the sports one. When I turn on that stuff, generally, yeah, I see a lot of stuff that I like. I like the comedian guy that does TYT. And I think that that's because those guys are more like this gentleman with the beard, with the gray beard, Mondale. I think that's because they're still at that level where they're just talking, where they're saying the things they believe. They're giving their opinions, just a straight sauce, right? Whereas when I turn on Cenk and Anna, like, I would say it's like 30-70. Like, they'll get me with, like, a couple things they say, and then they go into this, like, both sides bullshit that's insane. This idea, this sane washing of who Trump is as a person. Like, I still, to this day, will continue to say that the real problem are the billionaires, the oligarchs. That's the real fear for me. But I'm not going to sane wash Trump. I'm not going to act like Trump is some kind of fucking high IQ genius, okay? If you want to call him a lovable buffoon, He's not my kind of lovable buffoon, but maybe that's something on the MAGA right that they could get away with. But I'm not going to sane wash some of the crazy shit he says. I'm not going to sane wash the idea of deporting potentially millions of immigrants, undocumented immigrants, specifically in California, that have been literally propping up the economy that we all live and work and enjoy in. Like, that's not gonna happen. And maybe that's what he's hearing when he says he goes on and sees some stuff. I'll let him talk a little bit more about it, but no, I'm not here for the sane washing.
And I'm like, oh yeah, well, because I don't watch them every day, all day. I don't watch.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about TYT. I mean, there are great progressive ideologies on TYT, right?
Generally speaking, yes.
None of the creators I mentioned have even one solution with all those combined brains. No solutions being propaganda, literal Nazi tactic from Nazis 101. The one thing I disagree with that risk is I don't think. Well, do I? I don't think. I don't know if I think. I agree with you that the majority of people on YouTube don't want to offer solutions, but I don't know that they do it on purpose. I think that it, like I said, capitalism is the strongest economic driver as far as like governments go. And I think that it has in many ways diluted our ability to think. And I think in many ways it's brainwashed people. I would say they obviously got brainwashed inadvertently, but obviously, in my opinion, capitalism, part of it is brainwashing advertently. Like they're trying on purpose, because capitalism is consumerism. The economy is not strong unless people are buying things, unless people are able to get out and spend every dollar of their check, right? So the system of capitalism in and of itself is a very strong economic driver, but it has very inherent flaws that are not good for being human, for being people. And I think that most people, when they get on YouTube, they're getting on YouTube to create content where they just want to talk and they want to entertain and they want people to be happy and come back. That's why you see audience capture, where if somebody says Trump's an idiot and they get 1,000 followers off that, then the next video is Trump's an idiot. And then the next video after that is Trump's an idiot, Trump's an idiot, Trump, and then it's like everything is Trump's an idiot, right? And I think that instead of saying that, like, what you're going for is like, okay, so if Trump's an idiot, what do you do about that? And I don't think that that appeals to the majority of people that are watching YouTube. And that's a problem. So like, this is what I've said before. Oftentimes we blame people like government officials, politicians, for the things that they do. But also a lot of the times we have to also recognize that the people that follow them, the people that vote for them, are also the people that encourage them to do that. So if we want people to have solutions to the things that they talk about, then what you're doing is the correct thing to do. It's to call it out. To say, hey, man, when I watch this, I'm not here to hear you bitch and complain. I'm not here just to hear you make jokes. I want to know, what would you do about this? How would you fix it? What is the solution to this problem? I mean, you said it earlier. It's about asking questions, right? So, like, one of the things that I've struggled with this channel is I started this channel just to make fun of weird shit. Just to make fun of the crazy things that Trump supporters say. Like, I wasn't, like, avidly political when I started this channel. I was like, I thought Trump was a moron, and I was like, I don't want a fucking dumbass as my president, and so like I voted for Biden. But like, I didn't start this channel to be like vote Biden. I started the channel because I was like, Trump supporters think that Joe Biden's a skin suit and he's being played by James Woods, which James Woods hates Joe Biden, and that's hilarious. And so I got on here and I made jokes, and that entertained people, and it grew a following of people. And then I thought, well, you know what? I'd like to actually talk about some of these things that I find to be actually like intelligent subjects. How do we fix capitalism? How do we find the balance between Americans' mental health and safety and equality, and using something like capitalism to drive an economy that allows us to then have the support, the financial support, to make a difference throughout the world? Like, how do we do that? And then I made videos about that, and they got 20 views. And I told my wife at one point, I go, it's kind of disconcerting. It's disconcerting to think that I can get hundreds of thousands of views. I literally had something like 6 videos this year with over 200,000 views. Every one of them were me making fun of stuff. Every one of them. The most that I got, I think, the video I did on the Anti-Homosexuality Act of 2023 in Uganda, where they literally are giving the death penalty to people that are LGBT. They are literally putting people in prison for knowing about an act of homosexuality in Uganda, potentially for life. I produced that video, and when it first came out, I got 200 views. Maybe. It might have got 100, 150. And I was like, man, like, this is important. People should know about this. This is something that we should actually be talking about. And I looked at my wife, and I was like, sometimes I'm just like, they're just like, shut up, clown, make us laugh. And I think that there's a big problem that isn't specifically just content creators. I don't think that that they're helping out, but I think that it's also the viewer base, and that is a large amount of the viewer base doesn't want to hear people talking about solutions. They're logging on to get a laugh or to get their fill of hate, to get, whatever it is that, is going to get them motivated to wake up tomorrow and continue on. And they're not looking for solutions. I'm a solution person. I've been a manager for over 20 years. Like, you can ask my wife. I'm not the person you bitch to. If you come and you complain to me, I'm going to give you a solution to your problem. I agree, Risk. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. I want to do what you're doing, what you're saying. I want to be able to make people laugh, and I want to be able to bring solutions. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of collaboration in that area in YouTube. That's why, obviously, also I have bad internet here, but that's why you don't see me doing a lot of collaborations with people. But that's also why I wish people would watch my podcast more, because we do talk about solutions on my podcast. My podcast, Progressive Matters, I've talked to Ira Shapiro, who was in the Senate for 40 years and written 3 or 4 books about Mitch McConnell. I spoke to David Lipsky, who spent 10 years writing a book on climate change. I just got done speaking to Stephen Robinson, who wrote the book on how he stopped Trump and Trump's foundation from gentrifying Western Manhattan, and instead saved it and used it for the people of Manhattan. Like, those are the conversations I wish people would spend more time listening to, and then come over here for the fun. Because in those conversations, I do ask questions. I do ask questions about how to fix things, how people can get better involved, what we can do. In my talk with Ira Shapiro, I said, I do think that there's a problem with the age of our Senate. Do you agree with that? And he had a very interesting answer to that question. And it's one people should go and watch and see what his answer was to that question. I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm going to make you go watch it. But I've had 8 or 9 podcasts now, I think, where I've sat down with really intelligent people, politicians. Lindsey Prather from North Carolina, speaking about education in America. Every one of these conversations that I've had with these people, by the way, they've changed my mind on at least one subject. Lindsey Prather changed my mind on college education and how much free education. I think that people should get 4 years. She actually changed my mind. It should, in my opinion, be 2 years to start. And I could change that again, to be honest with you. But each one of these conversations, if anybody doesn't know, one of my very first podcast was with John Anthony Castro, who was the guy who was filing lawsuits against Donald Trump to keep him off the ballot. And he was a Republican presidential primary candidate. And so my very first conversation was with the Republican primary candidate. Like, it's not like I'm just having conversations with people in an echo chamber. These are all people that in some way or another disagree with me. And my hope in each one of those conversations was to gather knowledge, to get information, and to hopefully find solutions. So I do try to make it fun, and I do try to make it educational, but that is very fucking hard. Hal was in Spider-Man. Hal Sparks was in Spider-Man? Is that true? Is that true? That's crazy. If that's true. What's happening, Oz? All right, back to the video. Sorry, guys. Fucking ranting.
They're great.
And I'm like, oh, yeah. Well, because I don't watch them every day, all day. I don't watch.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about TYT. They're great progressive ideologies on TYT, right?
Generally speaking, yes.
But you cannot disconnect TYT from Jink and Anna's behavior since this election happened.
That's
They've
right.
been posting.
So this is specific. Yeah. This is specific talking points that
these ain't talking points, but they doing videos, creating content, talking about.
Yeah, what he's saying is the general feel of TYT, what they're pushing, their propaganda is now heavily focused on what Jank and Anna want to do. It's obvious. This is like the type of thing you sit down in a team meeting and decide. This is something where you bring in all your creators. I don't know how they do it on YouTube, but if in a business that's being ran, you bring in your department managers, you bring in administration, you bring in certain employees, you sit them down around a table, and you say things along the lines of, this store, its new mission statement is going to be X, and we are going to put all our effort into pushing towards that. If you're Albertsons, you're going to say something along the lines of, right now, people's opinion of the economy is really bad. We're going to really push down shelf price. We're going to put a lot of downward pressure on shelf pricing. For my buyers, I want my buyers heavily focusing on getting good deals, participating really heavily in promotion schedules. I want coupons on the shelf. I want point of sale advertising everywhere. I want register people. I want you adding on anything that you can possibly do in this area, pointing people towards deals. I want you using the newspaper ads and just giving it to people even if they don't have coupons. Like, that's what he's saying, is that even though you have these other parts around Jank and Anna, what they really are pushing as far as their message right now is this idea that they want to go more towards the middle, more center left, and further away from the far left, which, to be honest, is what got them there. So I can hear why this guy and people that also have followed them forever would feel like they had gotten betrayed.
Oh, well, I met one person who changed my heart.
Spider-Man 2. Dude, I gotta go back and I gotta
that, dog. We know what's going on.
I gotta get that link.
Real thought leaders, people
I gotta watch
who
that
are
after
professors
this.
at college who white rule rage was written this election cycle, and those brothers who wrote that, two white professors from the University of Maryland and other spaces, and yeah. So let's just leave it there. Who articulated what it means to be a Trump supporter? I'm not okay with it, dog.
Yeah, and this is, so here we go. All right, now I'm getting to the gist of his argument here. This is the sane washing. He doesn't like the sane washing. He doesn't like. So if you watch my earlier videos, I do a little bit about this. A little of this. My earliest Trump supporter videos had a lot of empathy. Because, like, I have family that are Trump supporters. I love them. I think that, there's a case to be made for certain people being disenfranchised. I don't agree with their vote. I won't ever sane wash Trump or the things that they say. But there's a case to be made for why certain people have joined up with MAGA. I've made that case multiple times. And in those videos, you would have somebody that would say something along the lines of, Joe Biden, he abuses children. Something like that. Don't fucking ban me, YouTube. I'm using it as an example. Jesus Christ. I have to say that. So if they follow up on this video, they see me say that. And back then you might be like, well, like this person's insane. Like you can tell they're crazy. They think that, Democrats drink the blood of children. Like, like fucking, you can't take anything these people say seriously. So it's kind of like sane washing. You're like, what you got to understand is that these people are, they're upset because they lost their job at the steel factory, and it happened while Joe Biden was. So there's a lot of explanation for them. And over the year and a half that I've been doing this really politically, I've recognized that for some part, like I was part of that problem, that I was affected by people that would come into my chat and would say things like, hey, you shouldn't be making fun of mentally ill people. And I was like, hey, okay. Like, it's probably not the nicest thing I could do. But these people are fucking nuts. They literally believe that, people are serpents. Or that, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is a body double. Like, and, I had to find my place. But I can tell you this. It does drive me nuts to see people sane wash things Trump says. It does drive me nuts to see people sane wash the things that Trump supporters say. And to then have a person that has been like a legitimate figurehead in the left-wing progressive community start to sane wash the things Trump says because they're hoping that they can garner a bigger audience because they're losing some of their audience because left-wing progressivism isn't as popular as it was when Cenk started, and now they're trying to find new avenues of financial resources. Like, it's too easy to see. You're not saying, oh, like we figured out something about the right and now we're trying to attune ourselves to that and attune our audience to that. No, you're just fucking rolling over to the right because that's where the money is. Because to be honest with you, if you want to grift, the right is the best place to do it. Like, you can say whatever the fuck you want on the right as long as it agrees with the shit they believe. And you ain't got to worry about no one unsubscribing. You don't have to worry about people pushing back on you. Believe me, if you want to make fun of mentally ill people on the right, they're totally fine with it. I have taken tons of criticism from left-wing people in my chat about the way that I talk, about the way that I curse a lot, the way that I make fun of people. Like, the left is very critical. But I ain't no bitch. I ain't trying to just roll over and be like, that's where the money is,
I think this idea that saying or calling white supremacy is equated to calling yourself closed-minded is wrong. We don't want TYT to be closed-minded. Where's the energy you had before the election outcome?
Yeah.
Why now is it not
and that's
okay
what it
to
is.
call
Where was it
before?
before? Yeah.
Why now is it not okay to call these people who won't even question or saying that J6ers are heroes and hostages? Why is
Mondale,
Mondale,
Anna, Anna's doing this though?
Anna's father going.
Anna, Anna's leading the way in it. Hang on, I'll pull up a.
Wow, bro, really? I didn't hear enough of it.
Yeah, there was that part, I think, where when Anna first said, she didn't say she was leaving the left. Somebody used that as a YouTube thumbnail. But the gist of the video is why I left the left, right? And there was a first on-air kind of confrontation between Cenk and Anna, where Cenk was kind of like, can you really say that about Trump? And he kind of fought with her. And I was like, oh, well, that's good. That's, I don't mind balance. I don't mind seeing two people with disagreeing opinions having a conversation, as long as it's like trying, as Risk has said, to come to some type of solution. But it feels like to me that Anna was like, nah, this is the way to go, dog. Like, we should be getting some of that good. We should be getting some of that money. And this is the way to go. Because after that happened, it seemed as though Cenk really started to kind of buckle and kind of just like be a little bit more in line with her. And maybe he saw some reaction from his subscribers, his audience, that they liked what she was saying. Maybe, she showed by being able to go on, these other like right-wing shows that Cenk, is wrong, and that like this is the path to being more successful. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you that there was definitely a feeling that changed after that time.
What she said, what does she say?
There you go.
Like just being on Glenn Beck is different. If you're going on Glenn Beck and cussing his ass out,
talking about individuals.
And
All
I'm
right.
not trying to make up for nobody. I'm just
No,
like,
listen, Marcus, listen.
all right.
Here we go.
In reality, we're talking about individuals whose politics is mostly based on, you know, some fringe issue or some cultural issue that they have. It's not just that they care about that issue. It's that they've taken that issue and they've made it part of their identity, the core of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like what you would expect from religious zealots.
And you want to know something I really disagree with this about? Is I'm not saying there aren't people that exist still on the left that have this, but I've always believed that the political spectrum is a pendulum. It's something where, in many ways, even though I think that there should be at least 4 political parties, the 2 political party system has always operated in this manner of kind of bouncing the extremes back and forth. Like you have the 2 wings of one bird cliche, right? And I've always said the 2 wings of one bird cliche is correct. The political left and political right are 2 wings of the same bird, but it's also important that that bird does continue to fly. So you did need these 2 wings to continue to moderate each other. You needed the left that pushed for progress and that, you know, wanted to have people treated fairly and equally. And then you had the right that wanted to have conservative values as far as taxing and government regulation and freedom of speech. And those were the moderate ideas of both sides of the bird. And I think when it bounced back and forth between those, it was not a perfect system, but a system that seemed to be kind of like motoring along, and progress was slow, but there was progress. And then I think when it got out of whack was we ended up in this position where left-wing people, for the most part, became pretty upset about the speed of progress. And to be honest with you, certain people within the left have the right to feel that way. If you're LGBT, if you're a minority, if you're marginalized, it's very hard to convince those communities that they should be accepting of slow progress within the United States of America. Because it's a lot like saying, you know, like as a woman, right? Yeah, you don't have the right to vote, but we're working towards it. You won't see it in your lifetime, but a couple generations later, it's definitely going to happen. You can't like convince people that like that's a good way to do things. You're going to have people going, no, I want to be able to fucking vote now. I have the right to vote now. So on the left, you had this push more towards the extreme left, who, when we say extreme, it's even kind of a misnomer because it's just the left that wanted themselves to have rights that were equal to the rights of every other person in the country. But the way that it was expressed was in a very like aggressive manner. And that is appropriate when, once again, you are being pushed down and being told to shut the fuck up. Now, that in turn had this reaction from the right where it pushed it outside of the moderate right and further towards the religious zealot right, where they started saying things like, hey, look, I live in fantasy land where if you're gay, it's a sin and God hates that. So now you have, instead of this pendulum that's bouncing back and forth between these 2 small places, now it's bouncing way back and forth. And there was an overcorrection of sorts. And I think what she's saying here is ridiculous because this is the same thing that people accuse Kamala of, where they're saying like, oh, she ran on, you know, transgenders and bathrooms, and she ran on, you know, woke ideology. And there's not a single, I can't think of a single moment that was really defined in Kamala's campaign where it was woke. Like, there was all kinds of reaching across the aisle to the conservatives. There was so much like, you know, there was talk of people being equal, but there's also a lot of talk about minding your own fucking business. And I think what's happening right here with Anna is what I have said, I've warned the left of over and over again, is the left is super critical of their own members. And the right knows that. And the right knows that you'll pick up anything that they tell you to pick up because you're so critical of your own party. So the right says something like, isn't it crazy how many left-wing people went nuts and tried to limit your free speech? And people on the left look at their own party and they see like a video of some, random ass person saying something stupid. And they're like, yeah, no, we shouldn't be doing that. Oh my God, that's why people hate us. And I think that's what she's doing here. Is she's taking the right's stereotypical model of what a left-wing person is, and she's applying that to the left and saying, yeah, we do have a problem with these really loud extremist lefts being just like the whole face of our party. And I don't know that that's true. I think the left has to be very careful about overcorrecting for something that the right has made the left's problem. The left needs to be better about looking at the things within their party and critically thinking about whether or not they're being influenced by the right to create fractures within their own party, because the right is doing an amazing job of getting the left to fight with their own, attack each other, and then take up these stereotypes as if they truly still exist. There was a time in left-wing politics where if I sat up here and said some woman was fat, I would get absolutely fucking roasted. Everybody in the fucking world would fucking, fuck that guy. It doesn't matter if it was just a joke or not. But that's what happens when things are in a bad place. There's overreactions to things. And when you react in a certain way to something, and you realize you've overreacted to something, then that's when the correcting comes in. And that's when you say to yourself, like, okay, like, I grew up punching fucking racists in the face. That's not a joke. I literally did that. I grew up with skinheads. My best friend was half black. First fight I ever got in when I was 10 years old was because a black friend of mine, I invited him to my neighborhood, and I was an idiot. It's a white supremacist neighborhood, and I didn't realize what real racism was. I was 10 years old. That's the first fight I ever got in, was I was protecting that kid. I've punched racists in the face for like 20 years of my life. I then moved to a different place. And when I came up here, there was a party that happened where a young black girl was there. And this is a predominantly white society. Somebody knowing exactly how worked up I get about racism came to me and said, that girl over there is like chilling. She's a black girl. And there's these two white dudes over there and they keep using the N-word. And I got mad. And I made a scene. And at one point or another, there's about 8 or 9 dudes that were going to jump me. And me being the crazy ginger I am, I was ready to fight all of them. And by the end of all of it, they didn't want to put their hands on me. So they got to walk away. But that young black woman was like, yo, it's okay. You didn't need to do that. And I was like, but like, I'm trying to help. I'm helping. And she was like, you don't need to do that. I don't care. They're dumb. And that said something to me where I was like, I gotta chill. I gotta chill. Because I'm not where I was, right? And so I realized, okay, I overreacted. I corrected myself. And since then, that was about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Since then, I try to use my words. I try to do my best to stand up for people in a way that doesn't make them feel out of sorts. And I still have it in myself that if I ever see overt racism towards somebody, I will stand up for that person, including physically. I will do so. But I did understand, oh, okay, all right, I probably went too far. And I think that that's what the left did. I think that the left truly did that. I think the left, for a minute, got really fucking upset about some things, and rightfully so. And they started calling people out, fucking holding people to account. And then at one point or another, somebody went, whoa, 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 whoa. Chill. And the left was like, oh, okay, all right, sorry. But now that stereotype still exists, and the right knows that it still exists, and then the right looks at like somebody like Anna, who is just latching on to anything to help her be better liked by other people. And now she's using that stereotype to propagate it, to say like, oh yeah, this is going on in the left and it's a really big problem. One of the things I've really liked about this channel is that getting on this channel and having those ideas about the left that I've met so many good left-wing people that I've been like, oh, like maybe I was wrong about that too. And I think that that's something that has to happen. I think you have to talk to people and realize that maybe this stereotype that's in your head isn't what it is, right?
You know, and so there's a fundamentalism involved in the way that they treat these issues.
I miss Angela
and there's
too,
no
Fatty.
room
I miss
to
Angela
negotiate.
too.
There's no room.
She's talking about the left.
To maybe consider the thoughts and concerns of individuals. And so as they become more and more kind of like authoritarian in what
Sean just said. Sean fucking spot on. Like when the Republicans talk about immigrants, it triggers certain people and they plant that to their advantage. That's what I'm saying is like, they do still know. That's a lot like me saying this on this channel, right? Somebody seeing me in public and then doing something racist on purpose so that way they can get me on video freaking out and then they can be like, look, there he is. There he is. That's a crazy ass. That's what you expect from these people. I didn't even do anything wrong and that guy freaked out. That's exactly, Sean. You're fucking spot on, dude.
But they demand. They are pushing people away. And there are some issues in which the rights of one group might actually end up conflicting with the rights of another group, depending on what type of legislation you're pursuing. And so, of course, this has come up with the trans issue. And I've always been supportive of the transgender community. But when the rights of transgender people, particularly transgender women, start to cause some tension with the rights and freedoms of women or the perceived safety of women.
But this is the bullshit that goes along with this. Like, who is it? Was it Natalie? Who was it the other day I was talking to and I was asking questions about transgenderism? It's generally not the transgender people that are causing this issue. So it's like, it's out of sorts to kind of like make this huge transgender issue. There are certain people that may overreact like I did to racism. And, you know, I think that you have to recognize that those people, their heart is in the right place. They feel like they're defending like a marginalized person and they want to help that person. And I think in this case, as it was in cases prior to this, that in some ways, it's up to the transgender community to stand up and do what that young black woman did. And that is to say, hey, not right now. I don't need that right now. Like, you're kind of making things worse, right? Like, that's why I asked. I said, you know, I feel like the left reacts to all this bathroom shit when they shouldn't, when they should just let it go. Like, anytime some right-wing Republican brings up transgenders in bathrooms, they should just be like, Republicans are fucking dumb. Like, they're stupid to even, it's not even possible to stop it. We're not going to react to this. We're not going to play this game. We're not going to sit here and argue transgender bathrooms with you because that's not an important part of helping transgender people get equal rights. Like, there's so many more important things to talk about when it comes to LGBT rights than bathrooms. And the right knows that they can get you off track in talking about bathrooms for the next 45 minutes. And then you look crazy because you're debating this like really like basic ass topic when you should be talking about things that actually matter. My cousin hit me up on Facebook the other day and I haven't responded yet, but she had talked about puberty blockers. And my response to that is that in my time, both employing people that are transgender, talking to people that are transgender on YouTube, talking to subscribers that are transgender on YouTube, like I've spoke to so many more transgender people. One of my old mods, Jess, I spoke to her a little bit, very, very minimally, but in emails and asked her questions about transgenderism was like my response to that is that the research when it comes to things like giving puberty blockers to kids is very small, very minimal, because we haven't been able to talk about these things because transgender people for the most part have been demonized and labeled as being, you know, freaks like by right-wing people. And they've been scared for their lives and their safety. And so we don't have a lot of information on these things. We don't have a lot of studies on these things because it was taboo to even talk about them. And so now we're all trying to talk about this, whether you're on the no blockers or you're on the yes blockers, with this extremely small amount of information. And it turns into this argument and fight. And we can't have that conversation even because somebody in the fucking background goes, you just want to let them go in bathrooms. And somebody from the left is like, fuck you. They can go in any bathroom they want. And the next thing you know, you're not even talking about the important shit anymore. And that's what I'm saying is like it's like fucking arguing over the head of that black girl. Like she's sitting there going like, hey, can I say something? And I'm like, no, I'm protecting you. And the other guy's like, fuck that, I can say what I want. And that young black woman's like, do I get a say in whether or not I want to be defended? Do I get a say in whether or not there should be a big deal? And that's what it feels like when Anna goes on here and says shit like, you know, like when trans women are taking away from women, it's like, that wasn't the point. And you're making it worse. You've literally fucking grifted on to the right-wing talking point and now are joining up. It's crazy.
Well, let's have a conversation and avoid assuming the worst of the people who want to have a conversation.
Right when you're in danger. Bro, listen, let me tell you something. This woman, that statement in itself is so dangerous. And that ain't even it. Like if you just pull up some of the stuff she put on her Instagram, all of that, it's crazy enough, bro. I am disgusted with this willing to play games and the fact that they're saying that we are zealots. We're religious.
Yeah, and that's another thing that drives me nuts is what he just said. A lot of these people are very active on social media, and they'll say things on social media, and then when they get called out and they brought on like shows to talk, they act like there's some kind of disconnect between who they are on social media and who they are in real life. And that's one of the things I really, really fucking hate about this society right now is this idea, well, I just post on social media. It's not like it's like my real thoughts. Like that is your real thoughts. I mean, unless you paid somebody, unless you have like an administrator or something like that, you have like a system that posts shit. But then that still represents you. You should be still aware of it. And you should still be like, no, that doesn't represent me. Take that down. Like, it's so weird to have this culture now where it's like anything I say on Twitter actually isn't me or doesn't like, if like I use the N-word on Twitter, like that wasn't me. It's fucking weird. I hate it.
On the left.
Here, let me see if I can do it for you.
To Glenn Beck, right? The king of religious zealotry and conservative media, right? Here, but it's not that they're going on these platforms, it's that they're going on these platforms and they're trying to make nice with people who are literally trying to destroy not only democracy, because some people don't care about democracy. I do, but they're also actively trying to destroy the lives of 20 million of the migrant working class. Right? Let's not talk about all the everyone they're going to what they're doing with Obamacare, what they're doing with Social Security, what they're doing with Medicare, what they're doing with Medicaid. That's just the surface of it. The 50% of federal employees they're getting ready to boot out. You know how many black people that's going to hurt, right? So they're going to platforms making nice with people who have the most nefarious intentions for us at the moment. And thank you for saying it the way you did, Mondale. At the precise moment when we need progressive media on lock.
Yeah.
We need progressive media hitting on all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is exactly what I'm saying. Is right now, the left is playing into the right's game. They are fractured. They are fighting. It's one of those things where it's like, there's not strong leadership, and you need an adult in the room. You need an adult in the room right now that says, you, sit the fuck down, shut up, and listen. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm going to keep saying it. The left doesn't have an MLK. The left doesn't have a JFK. The people that were getting responded to, Bernie Sanders, AOC, like the progressive left candidates that people were feeling, the establishment left has said those people need to not be listened to. Like, I like Joe Biden. Joe Biden is one of the best presidents in the last 30 years. I think, I don't agree with everything he did. I never have agreed with everything anybody has ever done, by the way. I'm not a cult member. But I like a lot of his policies, the Infrastructure Act, the Inflation Reduction Act. I like the bipartisan gun safety laws. I like the PACT Act. I fucking love the Chips and Science Act. I think the Chips and Science Act is one of the fucking best things that's ever happened. I love the 6 prisoners coming back from Russia. I love the fact that we haven't, gone into a recession. I love the fact that inflation is below 3% and that interest rates are being cut and the economy is doing well. But he's an establishment Democrat, and he's, as far as his policies, they're more progressive than I think that Joe Biden, I thought that Joe Biden, they were going to be. But that's not what I like Joe Biden because I like policy. I like legislation. I like seeing things being done. In today's society, people aren't as either aware, politically literate of those things. And so explaining them to them is really hard and takes a long time. And most people don't have the stamina to stay in those conversations and hear them. So it doesn't work. He's not your candidate. Obviously, Kamala made the same attempt, and she was attached to Biden. Kamala was actually much more progressive. And one of the things that I hated about the way that the left handled this last campaign was that they didn't lean into her progressivism. In fact, all of this shit about how, she ran on woke ideology and all that stuff was the exact opposite. If you think progressives are big on running with Liz and Dick Cheney, you don't know what a progressive is, okay? I'm sorry. You don't. And, it's like there's a complete lack of leadership on the left. And that's why it's so fractured right now. And that's why what that dude said is just fucking, the right is playing fucking, what did Jon Stewart say? The right is playing chess right now. And the left is in the principal's office because they've glued their balls to the chair. That's fucking spot on. Like, there's loud noises, and it's crazy because it's a lot like watching, for you guys that are UFC fans, I watched martial arts my entire life. I'm an MMA fan. I've been a boxing fan since I was a kid. I grew up with Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson. I watched Muhammad Ali's last fight. I'm that old, okay? Yeah. I think right now what we're watching is you're watching a dude that should be the champion, a dude that you love that's a badass motherfucker, and then across the ring from him is a tomato can that shouldn't win, that's crazy, and then your champ comes out and he gets caught with a right hook and dropped, and you're like, uh-oh, what the fuck? How'd that happen? And now the crazy man is the champion. And you're just trying to figure out what the fuck just happened. You're like, what just happened? And I think that's what the left is doing right now. They're like scattered. They're looking around and there's not an adult in the fucking room. And they're looking around at each other as their champions asleep in the middle of the ring going, what the fuck just happened? What are we supposed to do? That was our guy. And he got knocked the fuck out by the tomato can. I swear to God, that's how I feel right now.
All cylinders. And we got them instead over there trying to make nice with Glenn Beck and Tim Pool and all the rest of them. For what? For why? For clicks?
Bro, I already have you. Why are you advertising to me?
Hold on. I got to go further. We need to clip this, what I'm about to say.
Uh-oh. This is where he does it.
Hold on. I want you to land it. I want you to land your plane. But right now, my soul is saying I got to do this.
Okay, if a man ever says my soul is saying I got to do this, you should definitely clip that. Okay? I'll never say that because I don't have a soul. Right, what's up, Cajun?
As an anniversary gift to me and my wife, if you are watching this show right now and you subscribe to TYT, unsubscribe, and you need to get a paid subscription to Ben Dixon. Right.
Oh, shit. Oh my god. I just want you guys to know I don't watch this. I don't watch these videos before we get on here. I just check out the first few minutes to see if they're good. Toss these bad boys on. I did not know he was going to say that. Damn. Yeah, I saw you, Cypher. I saw you in the comments. I saw your comment pop up on screen in the first few minutes. Woo! God damn, what a moment. But that's what being real gets you, right? That's what being real gets you, is those moments. Look at that. Look at dude in the middle's face. He's a Jaguars fan. I don't know why he'd be a Jaguars fan, but questioning his life decisions now. Look at his face. Look at the faces. Look at both of their faces. Oh. And that's what you get. And that's what's missing from society. Real motherfuckers are missing from society. It has become a smart business move to be these fake ass, unauthentic, say what people want, make sure the audience capture, bullshit, fake husks of human beings. That's what has become popular, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it, but deep down in your fucking soul, all you want is somebody to be real. That's all you want. You know, this is how Trump became president. We might not like it, but that's why Trump became president, is because moron that he is, he's a real moron. He's a real moron. He lies, and he's like, yeah, I lie. I don't care. And that's what those people, that's how much you're starved for real, authentic human beings, is that a group of people got together and they're like, we'll take anybody. We'll take anybody. We don't care how immoral. We don't care how dumb. We don't care how bad he is for the country. All we want is just a person that says the shit that they mean. And they found him. Meanwhile, the other side is playing that bullshit game. Meanwhile, the other side is doing the Jimmy Iovine. A pop song, a good popular song, is 3.5 minutes long. It's 16 bars. It's got 3 breaks. It's got a BPM of 60. That's what we got to do. We got to get a candidate that meets all of those things, and then we put her out there, and we slap funny phrases on it. People just want somebody that's authentic. They want somebody that says real shit. That's why people are talking about Jon Stewart. That's why people, love Bernie. Jon Stewart might not be the best person for the president, but the reason that people like him, the reason that people like Bill Burr, is because they just say what the fuck they think. And it's because we live in this artificial society of unauthentic human beings, and we're just over inundated with all this fake shit all day long. Plastic, makeup, fucking nothing is real anymore. And you just saw it. The dude said one real thing, and look at that reaction. Look at your reaction. Because that's what you really want. You need an MLK. You need a guy that says what he thinks.
Right now, if you love us, if you're serious about progressive policies, and you won't just do it, you will screenshot me saying this and tag Jink in it and Anna in it.
Okay, so I do have to say one thing, Cypher. I just advice to stop infighting. Here's the thing, though. I do think there has to be a moment of fighting. Okay? Anybody in here ever been in a fight? You ever been in a fight? If you ever been in a fight, been a lot of fucking fights, okay? Too many. You guys might not be able to see, but the scars on my fucking forehead. I've been hitting the head with a golf putter. I've been hitting the head with a cast iron skillet. There's another one for me falling off a doghouse and hitting a concrete slab in Slab City. That's a whole different story. But if you've ever been in a fight, in a real fight, not like a dust up, there's a moment after a fight where you want to shake hands. It's weird. Really is. But unless that motherfucker called your mama something, okay? Or slept with your wife, okay? You ain't shaking hands after that, okay? But for most people that have been in a fight, they know that moment afterwards where, like, you're like, all right, we did this. Now can we be cool? I had a dude break his hand on my forehead. Dropped my head and he broke his hand. And after, like, his buddies bundled him off, got between me and him. And afterwards, him and one of his buddies came to me and they're like, dude, you're cool. It was the weirdest fucking moment. I was at work. Dude, you're cool. I was like, I don't know if I'm cool with you. It's been too long. But we shook hands. Because it was over a parking spot. It was stupid. Don't be me, guys. But I do believe you have to have a fight. So there needs to be a moment of fighting. There needs to be a moment where we all butt heads and go, I was right, you were right, who was right? And then we need to slap hands, all right? And we need to look at each other and be like, we on the same team? Goddamn right, we're on the same team. All right, we can get our shit together? Fuck yeah, we're going to get our shit together. We going to let this other team do this shit to us, or we going to sit here and fight with each other? All right, okay, let's get to work, you know? Depends on the fight, yeah.
TYT and Rebel HQ and share.
Yeah, I love
because progressives cannot become Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party and the establishment.
It's all about the legends.
Because when we do that, we become unsalty. And Ben Dixon can tell you what it means when the salt of the world loses its salt.
When the salt loses its savor. Listen, I wasn't going to directly say send your subscriptions to me, but I also ain't going to miss the blessing that Mondale set up.
Good job, buddy.
I will say this. Wherever you send your subscriptions, I can tell you the majority report ain't moved an inch from their values. That's good ground. You can sow a majority.
That's a very point.
The Vanguard, them two cool white boys over at the Vanguard, they haven't moved from their values.
YouTube.
Right?
I barely know who these people are.
Ben Dixon.
I am at the expense of my own well-being. I've never moved from my values, man. I've walked away from many opportunities. Ask Sean King. I walked away before I would betray my values. We need left-leaning media now more than ever. And if TYT is not going to be that, then you need to end your subscriptions and send it to folks who going to hold the line, who's going to look at these fascists in their face and say, if you're going to take anybody, take me first. That's the only attitude to have right now.
Hold on. There's only one thing I have to say, man. I'm not even trying to go against anything that's going on.
My man in the middle is trying to preserve his relationship. The man in the middle, I don't know. Do you guys know who the man in the middle? I don't know who he is. I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't watch enough YouTube. I don't have time. But he seems like he's trying really hard. He's trying so hard right now. He's like, okay, well, hold on. All right, guys, time out.
We need to talk about the attitude of how we got here. And I'm asking that question for a reason.
All right, okay.
How did we get to a point where people with siding with people who want to like
Marcus, you went to Florida A&M, one of the, if not the smartest. I don't care what people say. And I went to 2 HBCUs and none of them were FAMU. One of the smartest historical black colleges. You know why Harriet Tubman had a gun.
Yeah.
It won't just be white folks.
Yeah.
It was for them Negroes that was supposed to be running with us that were willing to go back.
Yep. Because it ain't party lines. It ain't ethnicity. It ain't gender. It ain't none of that. It's the haves and the have-nots. And sometimes it's the have-nots versus the have-nots because the have-nots want to be the haves. And that's what TYT is right now. TYT was toiling down at the bottom with the have-nots. The have-nots formed the foundation for them to rise up out of the have-nots. And now they're trying to be one of the haves. Like that's the goddamn truth, and that's real. I've said it before. He's right. Harriet Tubman had a gun for a reason, and it's not the one you thought. Because I'm from the fucking from the ghetto. I'm from the trailer park, and I can tell you, the people that want you to stay there and that will steal your shit are people that are not the people that support you. There are people that are down there. I had great people. My brother, my best friend, who's my brother, like, he wanted me to be more. You know, the teachers I grew up with, they wanted me to be more. The managers I came up with, they wanted me to be more. My sisters, they wanted me to be more. Like, you know, the number of conversations I had with people back then that were like, you're not going to be here forever. And then there was other people that wanted to use me to get them further up. They didn't want me out. They wanted me to be a reason to get them out. But they didn't want to support. And the best way you support is by helping those around you. The best way to be successful, the best way to be successful is to be supportive of the people around you. It's not about leaving. It's about helping. And when you do help other people, you become successful as well. What TYT's missing here is they haven't disconnected from that foundation yet. They're coming a little too soon, boys. You about to make a mess all over your leg, okay? Because you have not detached yourself from the people that got you there yet. You're not big enough, not strong enough to just go ahead and leave them all behind and join your new friends. And that's why they're getting pushback. That's why they're getting this type of pushback. At the end of the day, it's something completely missing from our society. Is loyalty, man. Is loyalty. Looking around at the people around you and going like, you were there for me, I'm here for you. You know, we're not going to always agree. We're not going to always want the same things, have the same goals. But for the most part, our foundation is the same. It's the same. And if you do good, I'm proud. And if I do good, I want you to be proud. And when somebody does good, it makes everybody better. But if you think you're doing good and all of the people around you are like, man, fuck you, you're not doing good. You're using them. They're your step stool. You're standing on their heads to get yourself out. And at the same time, you're pushing them down to keep them there. Like, that's what's going on with TIT.
Their feet were hurting.
Oh, yeah. No, Master got chicken cooking tomorrow.
Look, because think about it. If you really, thank you for setting it up just like that. Think about it. Like,
don't forget to check out Diane.
Wasn't going to do a whole lot against all the white guns that would have came up against her. But you know what it did? It solved the problem of them Negroes who was a problem trying to get free. There's always going to be a subset of us, whether it's in the black community, we got them in the black community. The same folks who sold us out on the west coast of Africa in the first place, same folks who sold out Harriet Tubman in the first place. All these people in our history, they in present today.
Hold on, Ben. I'm busy right now. Hold on, Ben. I'm busy right now. Do you, Ben? I'm asking you questions directly. Do you have a paid subscription?
Dude, I love Mondale.
A website.
This is like my first time.
It's timeout. I'm saying I'm calling timeout, and people should know I have no financial gain from Ben Dixon. I get no money from Ben Dixon. I do get money from TYT. Do you have a website or where people can go for get subscriptions? And we need more from you. We need more content. We need you putting up more progressive voices.
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what this man's doing? This man's becoming a fucking king. Because that's who should be the king. It shouldn't be a person that wants personal gain. It shouldn't be a person that wants to elevate themselves above everybody else. It should be the person that wants to make you better. The person that wants to make your life better. That's who you should want to be the president. That's who you should want to be king. Kings aren't fucking... You don't get to choose to be the king. People decide that you're the king. There's a great set of books. Do I have them over here? Oh, I do. Hey, hold on. I'm trying to get the first one. I'm fucking going in the bookshelf, boys. Okay, I'm back. Assassin's Quest. Actually, I don't think this is the first book. God damn it. Okay, this is one of them. Okay, I think this is this first book? My wife's going to have to tell me. Oh, Fool's Assassin. I think it's the Fool's Assassin, his first book. There's a country in those books. And they vote for the person who's in charge, their president. But the person doesn't get to have a grand palace, or they don't get elevated above everybody else. They're chosen to be a representative of the people. They're chosen because they're supposed to be the best of them, because they want the best of others. And they're called the sacrifice. And the reason they're called the sacrifice is because it's their job to always put themselves out in front of their own people. If the people are starving, you don't eat. If the people are homeless and destitute, you don't get to sleep in a palace and eat banquets. When it comes to times of war, it's like their job is literally to find the best possible outcome for their people. And if that means sending themselves over to be held captive by the other country, so that way that country will leave your country alone and they just elevate a new sacrifice, that's your job. You're the sacrifice. It's not about getting things. Our presidency has become a job where you get things. You get to be the president. It's like you get all the power, all the authority. You get to control all these people. That's not what it's supposed to be. When you become the president of the United States, you're supposed to age. I keep hearing this. Rogan says this about Obama and Clinton. Everybody goes, yeah, Trump's the only one you look at. Man, he hasn't aged a day. You're supposed to age. You're supposed to go in with a full head of hair, and you're supposed to come out with no fucking hair at all because you pulled it out. You're supposed to go in with a full head of black, beautiful hair and come out with gray hair. Because if you don't, you weren't fucking trying. You didn't give it your all. You did not toil with the American people if you don't come out looking like you just been through some shit. That's what the President of the United States is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a person that works their fucking ass off to make sure that the American people are taken care of. All of them. Regardless of ethnicity, regardless of gender, regardless of class, regardless of age. Your job is to make sure that every single person in America is taken care of. And guess what? Yeah, that ages you. And if it doesn't age you, it means you didn't do shit but play golf while you were in office. Anyways, Mondale for president.
It is time out for people that are willing to sell us out. We got to tell them, not on our watch. Amy Goodwin can't do it by herself. Democracy now is not enough. It's not enough. Subscribe. Patreon. I'm over it.
Oh, I know who Ben Dixon is. Space. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't know who this is. Ben Dixon's the guy that we watched. He watched the Joe Webb on video. Ben Dixon is dope. I'm sorry. I don't spend enough time on
Heaters being
YouTube.
called the Tesla of heaters.
The
it
Tesla
can warm
of
up
heaters
houses for practically zero cost.
I'm over it.
Tesla of heaters is gonna fucking buy a presidency.
Patreon.com/the BPD show. There we are on my Patreon page. I put us up last week. Patreon.com/the BPD show. And I mean, listen, high key, you're gonna get some high quality stuff.
I can't lie to y'all, man. I'm so like I have saw your post, Mondale, about like the TYT folks, man, Sync and Anna, but I haven't watched it. And I'm gonna do my research because, like, to be honest with you, it just fundamentally doesn't make any sense for anybody to be an ally of us. I'm not a group think. First off, guys, anybody watching clickbaity political thirst trap? I am not a group think. I think
I've never heard that political thirst trap,
right? And I am fundamentally surprised that these two, who have championed a lot of issues, even of race, that would like kind of dismiss a whole movement.
Yeah,
I'm not
because they got tricky.
But if it really happened, that shit is problematic. So go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, because here's what it is, though. It's the fact that there's a couple things. If you watch the main show, you're still going to get some decent progressive politics, right? You're going to get enough progressive politics for you to not really be completely aware of what's going on. If you listen to Anna and Jake on social media, on Twitter, on their Instagrams, if you listen to their little videos, if you listen to the interviews that they're doing in other places, you see them actively making nice with the very people who are going to be destroying this country in a very short order.
And that was my point. This is something that legit people on the extreme, well, I hate saying extreme, on the progressive left have a real fucking argument to make. And that is, if you truly believe that Charlie Kirk is bad for the country, if you truly believe Donald Trump is bad for the country, if you truly believe that all of these people that we have been, standing up against for the last 4 years, defending what we claim to be doing, defending democracy, and then after you lose an election, and this doesn't go for just Cenk and Anna, this goes for fucking Kamala, this goes for Biden, this goes for everybody. If after you lose, it's just a shake hands and give them a good game, like, okay, wait, what? Like, you're going to have pushback from the progressive left going, hold on, do you not see what we see? Is not going on Glenn Beck the very opposite of what we believe we should be doing? And I do believe this is that left-wing mentality that has taken hold now, that it's like a fucking mental illness, I swear to God. It's like all of a sudden people, specifically that are like left of center, when I consider myself left of center, but that are left of center that are going, we just need to start reaching out to some of these guys. They have audience capture that includes them being hyperbolic, insane, and extreme towards right-wing values. There is no going on these shows and being like, oh, I'm going to form some kind of hard right-wing extremists, but also kind of left group. No, that's not going to fucking happen. It's like when fucking Destiny went on the Nelk Boys and they're just like, aren't you gay? And he's like, yeah, I'm gay. I'm bisexual. And they're like, do you take it in the butt? And it's like, bro, oh my God, why are you on this show? And I know why he was. But when did the rest of the left decide that this was a good idea? Like, they don't respect you. They don't have the same values as you. They don't like you. And they're just going to use you to show all the right-wing people that they like, that follow them, that they can bully you. That's what, if you're going to go on a show and you're going to shit on that person, and you're going to be like, look, I'm bringing facts, statistics, logic. Good job. Good on you. I want to see it. But every time one of these people goes on one of these right-wing shows, it's like, well, okay, so I do understand your point of view. Because to be honest, the left wing wasn't really made for that. It wasn't. Never has been. It's always been the empathetic side. It was never good at bullying. That's why I exist. That's why I started actually doing political stuff, is because I was like, the left has nobody that looks at the right and just goes, God damn, y'all are dumb. And they're like, well, I'll see you when I see you in public. Like, you don't want to see me in public, dog. That's a bad look for you. Like, that's like fucking at the end of the day, the left doesn't have that. And it's like, it's insane to see these people going over to right-wing shows and being like, okay, can I explain to you why also I'm upset with the left? Holy fuck.
And they're doing it. And they're doing it. Go ahead.
Being what you said, I'm announcing right now, I will do no more work. I don't know why. Something just said, I will do no more work with TYT, though. In its current capacity, I will.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is when he said
no more content. I will be on no more shows.
This is from the beginning.
It's over for me. Like, something just told me I have to say that. And I need to put it on Twitter. I need to text Jink.
Man,
and
speaking with the soul.
Y'all can't call me for no more shows. I'm done with it.
What?
Yeah, in real life.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Damn, that's 100.
I love.
Damn, that is 100.
Say, what about that? That's the only reason I have. That's the only reason I have tears in my eyes.
Look at him. Look at dude in the middle getting hype. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Look at him getting hype. He's getting hype because he's feeling it. Because you've evoked emotion. Because fucking A, dude. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to evoke emotion. Let's see it one more time. We're going to do that one more time. It's so nice. We're going to do it twice.
On Twitter, I need to text Jink and Anna. Y'all can't call me for no more shows. I'm done with it.
What?
Yeah, in real life.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Damn, that's 100.
I love Dr. Richie. Somebody said, what about Dr. Richie? That's the only reason I have tears. That's the only reason I have tears in my eyes. Because I love Dr. Richie.
Shout out to Dr. Richie.
I love Dr. Richie more than I love the ground that I feel that I need to stand on in this field. Dr. Richie is a super strong will and will be for successful in everything. He got 1 million jobs for a reason. But this right now is me saying, I divorce TYT in his current iteration. And if it means I'm never going to be in relationship with those people again, I accept that. But it's over at this point.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good job, bud.
All right, so
stand on business,
let me lighten the mood real quick. The state of Oklahoma decided that they want to make sure that a lawmaker in Oklahoma, I think you have this, Ben. A lawmaker in Oklahoma decided that he wanted to enforce praying for Donald Trump.
What?
As a mandatory religion in the state of Oklahoma. Do you have that? You have that article?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull this up one second.
I don't want to minimize what you just said. Hey, right. Clickbaity viewers, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, man, he tried to move on from that kind of quick, though. I was like, that was a little bit of a weird segue, my man. I don't know. That's like, you should go get like a bottle of champagne or something, spark something. I don't know. I would never say that people should do drugs or alcohol.
Mayor Mondale, I'm sorry, my brother. Mayor Mondale makes like real serious moves for his people. So I think y'all need to like listen to that right there. If Mondale is off that, it probably should be off that. So I'm automatically off that. Bruh, I don't.
Good follow-up, sir. Way to save that.
I don't know what made like how hard you feel about it, but that's
Mondale 2028. Dude, I'm down.
That's strong, man.
He's got me right now.
Yeah, Mondale, I gotta
hear some policies, but
one, I want to thank you for having. I mean, I always knew you were a principal brother, but if there's nothing else I know about y'all two brothers on the screen, y'all are some principal brothers, just as principled as I am, and that's why we rock together. It's also why we fell apart, but then we came back because we were like, we're gonna keep it 100, right? We no matter what, we always kept it 100 with each other, and now we're here. And what you just did, man, it speaks volumes because here's the nuance, y'all. This is what I need people to realize.
You're not a child.
Oh,
you're a
Jesus
man.
Christ.
So
I fucking hate these commercials.
stop wearing so many layers to go outside and get the bearskin tactical.
Yeah, men don't wear layers, guys.
You gotta recognize when the ship is turning directions. You can't wait till it has completely
Carmelo
turned
Anthony's
directions.
doppelganger in the middle.
TYT is shifting. It is shifting because the captain and the co-captain are shifting. Jake and Anna are shifting, and they're doing the same thing that all of these other people. Glenn Greenwald did the same thing. I don't know if y'all know Glenn Greenwald and from the Intercept, but Glenn Greenwald used to be safely on the left with
so that's actually a great point by Ben there. How many other people have done that? There's so many people that have. Was it Dave Rubin did it? Glenn Greenwald. Was Jimmy Dore? I mean, do they still consider Jimmy Dore to be left? And look, I mean, part of it is that politics are changing. And this is something that, like, humans have such a hard time with. They have a hard time accepting when things are changing. Politics are changing. As I said earlier, it used to be very moderate versus moderate. It used to be conservative versus liberal, you know. And I said directly after the election that I think that the left needs to push harder for having, like, to be honest, more extreme views, because that's what people are going to call them, are extreme. You know, wanting equality for people is extreme. You know, if that's how you're going to label it, that's how you're going to label it. But their tactics need to be, I think the word aggressive is better. I think the left needs to have more aggressive politics. I think the way that you have more aggressive politics is by having a really strong leader in your party. Napoleon said, "I'm not afraid of an army that has 1,000 lions that is led by one sheep. I am afraid of an army that is led 1,000 sheep that is led by one lion." And they need somebody to really speak to those aggressive politics. I think that I don't know that Bernie's the guy, but I think that they need somebody that has that same hard-nosed mentality of, I'm just going to tell you, the American people are pissed off, and whether or not you guys want to hear that or not, you can go fuck yourselves. Like, American people are pissed off. We're pissed. We're tired of your shit. We're tired of the games. We're tired of fucking all this, like, fake-ass, wannabe, unauthentic garbage that you're stuffing down people's throats. They want somebody real. So they gotta like start pushing harder towards more aggressive tactics, and that's just the game. Because the right has shown in 2 out of 3 elections right now that their more aggressive, more regressive policies are, you know, hitting with people, not because the people know about how regressive their policies. There's a study that's out right now that shows it's something like 80% of people polled that were given Kamala's policies and Trump's policies pick Kamala's policies. And that's because people don't vote on policy. People vote on vibe. And if your leadership is intelligent, then they know that what people want is somebody that's strong, that speaks well, that's authentic. And then you need to find somebody that is strong, authentic, and speaks well, but also has good policies for the American people. Because what you have right now is you have a fake strongman that's not authentic. Well, he's authentic to him, but he's not honest. That has really weak policies. And the left needs to combat that by doing the same, having a person that is viewed as strong, viewed as authentic. And the way they want to be different is they should pick somebody who's honest and who has policies that are honest and are good for the country. So you don't have to be the right. You don't have to take all of their tactics, but you do have to fight fire with fire. And right now, the way that people view the president of the United States is through a lens of vibes and charisma and, you know, what they view to be authenticity. On the left, you can choose to take those tactics and find someone that truly is authentic, because that person, like Mondale did here, will reach people's souls. When a person stands there at the podium and says, I truly fucking believe these things, and God damn it, I want to make this country a better fucking place, you'll see the response. You'll see it.
Aggressive politics, and then he slowly but surely started floating out all of these right-wing talking points, and now he's fully aligned with the fascists on the right. right? TYT is headed in that direction, not because of John Iadarola, not because of Dr. Rashad Ritchie, not because of the staff, not because of JR, none of them. It's because of Jank and Anna. And they have they've made the decision that this is the direction that they want to take their company. And so, folks can stay there and wait until it's already fully fleshed out and it's already fully manifested. Or you could see what's happening right now and take a principled stand. And that's what Mondale just did. So I salute you, brother. And I pray plenty of opportunities for you to I know you're not hurting or wanting for anything, but also for your voice to just be heard. And so I pray that doors open up for you so that your voice could go even further than what it went with TYT.
Yeah, and that's a solid point right there. That's once again, like I said at the beginning of this video when I was talking about my dude. We got to be better about that. Like, if you like what this man is saying, find that channel, subscribe to it, like it, tell people about this guy, speak positively about this guy, because that's where the left also fails, is in supporting good people. Like, stop, I'm not saying y'all are watching the Kardashians, but stop making the Kardashians famous and make people like this famous, and maybe we'll have a change in society, There's a time and place for entertainment, and I don't disagree with people having a good time and enjoying themselves. But if your whole life is just laughing and buffoonery, then that's the society that you're going to get. You're going to get a society that is entertainment value, that behind the scenes is control and bullshit, and it's partially your fault. It's partially my fault. If we don't support good people, if we don't get out there and help them get their name out, help people like Mondale here have more subscribers, have a bigger voice, have more reach, then it's just as much our fault as it is anybody else's. So we got to do the work too. We got to be the people that get up and represent the people that represent us. It's a two-way street.
Man, we opening up them doors for them.
Well, so I do want to say things. I do want to say one thing, because I was on mute because I was having a conversation with my wife over here.
I knew he was talking to his wife. I knew he was talking to his wife. I saw him look over. I know that look. I knew he was talking to his wife.
Didn't run that by her. You know what I'm saying? This is our household, and you know what I'm saying? She just looked at me and she hell yeah, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know who I am.
There
you know
you
who
go.
I am. And a lot of the times,
support those that support you.
I didn't run it past my wife. I told her, don't be in North Carolina the day I did that. And she wasn't there. And I just went there and did it. And I didn't tell her I was going to do it. So sometimes I do shit that affects both me and my wife without asking her, not because I'm sexist or I want to show up in that manner, but because I feel like I can't look at her in the face if I'm lying to me. So
you see that? That's a human being. That's a real person. That's a beautiful thing.
I'm glad you're not upset.
Thank you, Sister Mondale. Thank you, Sister Robinson. We
He gonna make me cry. Stop that.
Mondale, bro, on the real, as a person who knows you, man, I didn't know that shit meant so much to you. I didn't. I'm a little awestruck that you would do that, especially after our last show, right? So, I guess you know me. So, are there people at the network? Yeah, because you told me to have conversations straight up, right? Are there people at the network that are gonna mess with you? Is this gonna be a thing? Do you see that? Do you foresee issues? What? After this kind of statement, what happens? Because TYT is a big thing, and Sinking Out are powerful people. You know what I mean?
They ain't that powerful. I mean, come on.
He said, "Hold on."
Let me be quiet. Mondale, you speak.
I think for me, we watched, all three of us, you two with me, have been through it. Y'all Y'all
not crying, you're
were
crying.
there. Through COVID, through all that stuff. And I mean, somebody's probably gonna say something, somebody at the internet, they're gonna have something to say, all of them, you know what I'm saying? And there are people over there that I have relationships with, right? Rashad Ritchie, they're on the screen right now, actually. JR, John, and Francesca.
Francesca's
what
part
expense?
TYT, huh?
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube?
Oh my
ad
god, I
blockers?
gotta get premium
chill,
on
guys.
this
Just
fucking
use Pi.
account.
It's a free Chrome extension.
Oh, that's it? That was it? Okay. Well, I got something to say to that. Let's fucking go! I'm down with that. I like what he said. I'd vote for that, dude. Like I say, I need to see some policy. I need to see some policy first. Oh man, that was a good video. I'm glad we watched.
You're watching
that.
the legal breakdown, so we have
Brian
a little
Tyler
bit of a different
Cohen.
kind of episode
Hi.
today. We're gonna.
Let's. I gotta actually go to a soccer game pretty soon, so we gotta wrap this up. Wrap it up. Let's do the laundry. What do we gotta say? What do we have to say about all that we didn't already say? 100%. That dude, it was real. And there's just not a lot of real videos. There's not. You know, like I want to believe that we can get to a point where people aren't doing things just to enrich themselves financially, but also to enrich themselves as human beings. That was a person speaking from their heart. That was a person that was apparently speaking for their family. You know, like that's reality TV. Like, I think that's what like originally appealed to people when you first saw reality TV, was you saw a bunch of people that were living real life. And a lot of it was basic because it was like MTV real world shit, you know. But you got to see people being them. You got to see people like laughing, crying, fighting, being human beings, right? And more we're making our way into this, like, I wouldn't even call it polished, because it's not like it's polished. It's like it's contrived. I think contrived is the right word for it. Because it's not polished, it's not pretty, it's more contrived. This idea that you create personas and then you fit them into nice cookie cutters and then you sell them to the populace. But I don't think that's what people want. I think deep down in people's souls, they want more Mondale. They want people saying, this shit makes me angry. They want people saying, hey, when some dude that, you know, potentially affected hundreds of thousands of other people's lives and led to the loss of loved ones because of financial gain, I don't support the murder, but I don't have empathy. Like, that's what people want because they feel that. And I think that, unfortunately, that is what created MAGA. I think you did have so many people. We talk about these spurned Bernie supporters. So many of these Bernie supporters that went over to MAGA, the reason they did was because certain people in establishment positions said, yeah, whatever, Bernie got fucked, shut up, sit down, be quiet. And then they were like, why did they react that way? And now you have something similar going on with Anna and TYT saying to the LGBT community, yeah, we don't like that potentially your freedom, your equality, and us pushing for it led to us possibly losing, so you need to sit down, shut up, and be quiet. And all that's going to do is going to strengthen this group of people that have already felt disenfranchised by people doing those things. Like, it's time to be your authentic self and say, like, hey, maybe some of these LGBT things, like, let's talk to LGBT people and say, what's the most important thing to you? What should we be concentrating on? Is it bathrooms? Because I have a feeling they're going to be like, fuck bathrooms. I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, instead, like, go about it in a more intelligent way. And instead of like carving off these people and saying like, go find MAGA because you're dragging us down, which is like the opposite. Like at that point, you're saying to yourself like, okay, go strengthen the other side, because that's what people that are vitriolic, like, you know, they accept people that are disenfranchised because they're like, yeah, you can add to the anger, you can add to the hate, you can add to the aggression over here. We'll accept that. That's great for us. And we don't want to keep doing that. We don't want to keep pushing people that are legit on your side, legit supporting you away. And we definitely don't want to do it to make a little more money. We want people to be authentic. If a streamer gets to 2 million people being authentic, being honest, speaking their opinions, and they say something that I don't like, I still support them. As long as they're authentic. You know, as long as I can see where they're coming from, why they think that the thing they do. But if the reason that they're going to do it is because it's going to make them more money, or, you know, I just don't know really what they think, to be honest with you. But I want to support people that are real people. Support people that make mistakes. I want people that are willing to be incorrect. But I want people that want to be honest. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and check out that video on the screen now.